Today, we're cracking open an old chunk of wrestling wisdom. It's this. It's only a no until it's a yes. I'm Mike Quackenbush, and this is Till We Make It. Right here on my channel, I make videos for fellow professional wrestlers at every single stage of their career. And I do this because when I was starting out, I didn't have a coach to teach me, nor did I have a mentor to guide me. And I really do believe that lack of access to veteran wisdom, knowledge, and experience played a significant role in my failure to achieve my ultimate career goal. And I don't want to see that happen to anybody else. I don't want that to happen to the next generation of wrestlers coming up right now. I don't want that to happen to you. That's why I bring all my experience in front of the cameras and behind the scenes across decades right here to Till We Make It. And to talk about a bit of wrestling wisdom today, I want to start with a story. I'm going to start with Ring of Honor, which has been top of mind these last couple weeks, especially given all the intrigue swirling after Final Battle in December and after the announcement of Supercard of Honor 15 coming up in April. But I'm going to head all the way back to the end of 2001, when plans were being made for the very first Ring of Honor card. Long before they ended up as a subsidiary of corporate giant Sinclair Broadcasting, Ring of Honor, as a wrestling company, was independent through and through. And while booking up their very first event, which took place at the Murphy Rec Center down in Philly back in 2002, they called your old pal Mike, asking him to wrestle on the very first Ring of Honor event. However, the slot that they had for me was against an opponent I didn't want to be in the ring with. It was someone that I thought was dangerous, and I wasn't going to gamble with my health in that match. So I told them, no, I'm not interested. And after that, it was a little while before Ring of Honor reached out again, but eventually they did. And this time, they had a very different kind of offer, which involved a whole lot of travel. And when I understood what they were offering, what the arrangements would be, etc., I realized this is not a good deal for me. So on that second attempt, I told Ring of Honor, no, not interested. But the third time Ring of Honor reached out, just a couple years later, some things had changed. And this turned my no into a yes. You may know, on April 27th, 2007, out in St. Paul, Minnesota, I made my Ring of Honor debut. And I only agreed because certain conditions had changed. Previously, they'd offered me the wrong opponent, and then the wrong kind of deal. But when they came back with an opportunity that would also feature some of my own proteges, guys like Jigsaw and Hallowicked, that was enough to turn my no into a yes. This is that old chunk of wrestling wisdom. It's only a no until it's a yes in real application. This is how it really happened. If the people booking Ring of Honor had heard that first no I gave them at the end of 2001 and that had just given up, well, I never would have ended up making my Ring of Honor debut or doing any of the 10 or 20 matches for them that I did. But they were persistent. They kept changing the deal. They kept modifying the offer until eventually my no became a yes. They did not take one no or even two no's as being an absolute no, because they were smart enough to understand that in wrestling, it's only a no until it's a yes. And let me flip that pancake over. I want to tell you about a time when I was the one who kept hearing no. I heard it until a certain condition was met, and then that no became a yes. Back in the 1990s, my career was struggling to escape the gravitational pull of the Pittsburgh circuit. Even getting bookings in Ohio or West Virginia was often a stretch. And back then, I really wanted to wrestle in my hometown of Reading, Pennsylvania. And that meant I was going to have to get hired by Blaine DeSantis's Pennsylvania Championship Wrestling. That was the company I needed to go to work for. And so I reached out to the PCW office. And the first time around, I just heard nothing. it might as well have been a no. So I decided that I would turn up well in advance at one of Blaine's events. I would see if I couldn't help out and maybe just steal a few minutes of Blaine's time to try and talk my way into an opportunity. Of course, back then, I didn't really have an appreciation for what a boneheaded thought it would be that a promoter trying to put on a live show would just have extra time to sit around and chit-chat with someone they didn't know on the day of an event. Promoters don't, as I found out. And I was told I couldn't even speak to Blaine. So I reached out to his office again. And this time, I got an answer back from a Miss Cheryl Zito, who told me unequivocally, no. But I didn't take that no as an absolute no. So I tried reaching out again just a few months later when I had a VHS tape of one of my recent matches from the Pittsburgh circuit, thinking that by providing this, it might open a door. And this time, I heard back from Blaine DeSantis himself via, I will never forget this as long as I live, a certified letter. He sent everything certified mail because in real life, Blaine was an attorney. So anything that went out of his office got sent out certified mail. But I thought, oh, this is how it works in wrestling. Real promoters send you certified mail. No one else has ever sent me certified mail but Blaine. Nevertheless, it said no. So I'd heard no. I heard it over and over again. But then conditions changed. If I wanted the opportunity to be considered for a booking with PCW, I had to go to a training facility just north of Reading, PA, on my own dime and perform in a 5-minute tryout match in front of Blaine and Blaine's colleague, Jim. I had to make an impression in just 5 minutes just to be considered. But that conditional change opened up a path to change a no into a yes. They liked what they saw when I did my 5-minute audition match in that ring. And that is what turned a no into a yes, because months later, I ultimately got booked on a PCW card and remained a regular for them in the 2 to 3 years that followed. It was a massive step forward in my career that never would have come my way if I took being ignored or that no I got from Cheryl Zito or the no that came as certified mail as meaning no forever. It didn't. It just meant that it was a no until it became a yes. Are you getting something out of today's video? Then leave a like-a-palooza. And if you haven't subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? Go on, subscribe right now. The example of Ring of Honor and the example of Pennsylvania Championship Wrestling are just 2 examples out of 1,000 from across my wrestling career. A no is only a no until it becomes a yes. And typically that's because some condition has changed. And they're often conditions you have no control over, like a certain wrestling promotion might suddenly have a new booker. And after years of hearing no, because there's a new booker installed to make the matches, your no is now a yes. Even after hearing years upon years of no and nothing but no, that no can still become a yes. And it's important to acknowledge you may not know when those conditions change. If a wrestling promotion is about to embark on a new direction and they've altered their hiring priorities, you're not going to know that. That's why you have to be persistent. You have to keep reapproaching them. Of course, being respectful, being professional, but you don't want to give up just because you've heard a no once or twice or thrice or whatever comes after thrice. You have to stay at it so that when those conditions change, including the ones you aren't aware of, you are able to take advantage of the fact that there's a yes waiting for you where once there had only been no. Nothing comes after thrice. According to the Oxford Dictionary, it just ends there. Although I learned a no is only a no until it's a yes as a truism of professional wrestling, it's also true everywhere else in life as well. An example from my life outside of wrestling is this. It took me 10 years and a total of 38 attempts to be able to interview Michael Nesmith on my old podcast, The Grizz. I had to put up with 10 years of no's before one key condition changed that turned that no into a yes. and then I got the interview I had been hunting for all along. I even got to meet the man in person, and all of that is so much more poignant to me given Papa Nez passed away just a few weeks ago. Yes, I learned the adage about a no is only a no until it's a yes in pro wrestling about pro wrestling, but its applications are not limited to pro wrestling. If you've not yet joined me over on Patreon, now is the time. Every Tuesday, I post 2 tidbits, just like the one we talked about in today's video. You get exclusive videos, essays, and podcasts, early access to the videos upcoming here on the channel, but without any ads in them, and instant access to our private Discord too. These people, my patrons, are the ones that allow this channel to continue. And if you want to join the roll call, the Patreon link is appearing on screen right now. Discovering a no has become a yes may start you down the path to professional wrestling success. In the video appearing now, we're going to define what success is in pro wrestling. That way, you'll know when you find it.